What's up, everybody? To the greatest. This is my favorite thing to do on this goddamn channel.
This is a good thing to do.
This is the best series that, if you don't know about already, it is Smoke Sess Reviews, where I and sometimes Solomon, sometimes sometimes my brother.
Dude, I mean, you look disgusting. I cannot lie.
Sometimes whoever the hell, and we just have a smoke sesh and a review, as the title would suggest.
Pretty much.
And today, what are we reviewing?
Today, we are reviewing. Oh, hey, by the way, my name is Solomon.
Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me. I ain't the.
Today, we are going to be reviewing the Damn album by Kendrick Lamar. It's been kind of a favorite for you know how niggas say hot minute. So yeah, this has been a favorite for a hot minute.
And this is his fourth album?
Yes, it is. This is his senior?
He's a senior.
Oh shit. I remember when I was a senior. Not as fun as him being a senior.
He's definitely more like, you know, rappers are seniors. They're like billionaires.
Even pretty fucking much. Like, where it was like, when I was a senior, I was like, oh, you're in 12th grade? That's fucking cute.
If I gotta go hard on a bitch, I'ma make it look sexy.
But anyway, back on to Kendrick Lamar. Comes out, Section 80, beloved album. Good Kid, Mad City, even more beloved album.
Shit.
And then there was To Pimp a Butterfly, which we both love. I remember us bumping that back in the day.
Shit.
And
boy, back in KB.
On
Back
terms,
in KB, fucking alright. We gon'
be alright.
Hey,
We gon' be alright.
We gon' be alright.
Yeah, exactly. And there was there's just so much to those projects because like Kendrick, he's critically, like, on terms of making the stories deep but not preachy, but having messages still in there.
I mean, for the simple fact that, like,
he accomplishes that. He accomplished, like, the sales, mainstreamy, like, just, like, stuff atmospheric for people who like to party and whatnot.
He's like a Renaissance rapper, if that makes sense. Like, he's versatile as far as what his lyrics can do, like, just levels that it can, I guess, hit you or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's avid about his fucking work. He's not really all with the social media and shit like a lot of rappers are now, which is something you can really respect. Because, I mean, he's been doing it for like a hot minute. So, like, you can kind of see he's seasoned. He's like, look, I just want to put out fucking music. I really don't have no one else tell me what the fuck to do because I've been doing this for a hot minute. So, yeah.
A hot minute.
So Kendrick was King Kendrick. He was on top of the world. Everyone loved, he just got better and better. And then there was, I remember, like, after To Pimp a Butterfly, his next project, I was like, okay, it's either gonna be, like, toned down on terms of, like, scale. It's either gonna be toned down or he's gonna try something so weird and experimental no one's gonna like it. And thankfully, this isn't like this weird off-the-wall project. If anything, this is the most, like, listenable, accessible Kendrick Lamar project.
To be honest, it was kind of like him just solidify that, like, I know what works for me. He's not one of those rappers who, in a way, he tries to, like, appeal to the demographic of rappers that always want something that's, you know, forever changing and, like, like, oh, this is fresh, this is new, it's trendy, He's like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna make the good music that I know how to make, and you're just gonna fuck with it and see, you know, my life through how I spit. Because he has conveyed a little bit of his life through his songs. Like, DNA, he kind of went off about it a little bit.
Yeah,
and
that's something kind of he's always for going back to Pimp a Butterfly, like, he has songs like How Much a Dollar Costs, which is like him, like, as a famous person, like a homeless person talking to him.
Exactly, and like the shit that's kind of cool about that is you've gotten to see, like, the growth. Because he's always made it a point to not be like a conscious rapper, but still, like, spit about shit that's relevant in society, and unfortunately, I will say black society to a degree with some of the ignorant shit. Because I mean, you got some niggas that's ignorant, but then you have niggas that aren't ignorant. And I say ignorant to kind of solidify and show like there's a difference between ignorant. Ignorant is like there's hope for you, so to speak. If you're ignorant,
going on
you
a dark tangent that I'm not supporting.
Fuck you. Ignorant is like there's hope. You can make it. You can get there. If you
political comments on this video.
If you you's an ignorant motherfucker.
I just lost all monetization. I mean, we're smoking, so I already lost it, but
So then how the fuck you gonna try and
the second the machines heard political swear words, Soul doesn't deserve money.
It doesn't shut the fuck up.
Okay. At the same time, Kendrick doesn't make a bigger project. This project just has him on the cover. It's the first time he's been on the cover of any of his albums.
True.
Which, like, in a weird way, this is a very personable album, because, one, he seems like he's going through a depression kind of on this album. There are certain lyrics where he just seems really just... Because with To Pimp Butterfly, a big thing of that was, like, self-love and worth.
True, yeah, with, like...
And now he's like, I don't even know what's going on religiously, like, whereas before he was like, no, God, all day. But if we got God, we gonna be alright. We gonna be alright.
Well, I mean, you gotta think. And this is me, like, pondering to the smallest scale that I possibly can about a celebrity's life. Kendrick has made it a point.
Even as, like, a fictional character, like, who is within this music, you can just say that.
Okay. Kendrick has made it a point to kind of... One, he's addressed that, you know, he used to bang and he used to be a blood, he used to be pyro and stuff like that. But...
And he's referenced possibly killing another person before.
Exactly. So just to have that on your plate, and then the fact that you're still a man of God. Because I mean, I was born and raised Christian, but I'm now agnostic because I got questions like
Agnostic Squad.
Like, I don't know. That's me and my walk. But for someone to, you know, have faith to that degree and then reach that type of fame and those type of accolades, I feel after a while you do kind of question, like, all right, I've done some things to get myself in a really good fucking position. Then you have a whole bunch of other bullshit from, like, you know, media and people, like, you know, analytically breaking down your verses to the last fucking T just to figure out some hidden meaning, if there is any, aside from the meaning that you meant to, like, put across in the song. Oh, you got weed in your mouth. Good.
A little bit.
So, I mean, to have all those things on your mind and then on top of it to think about religion, and, like, twice, I want to say, like, twice, he brings up, like, what if somebody shot your son? I've, to be honest, I'm sorry, I forget which track it was, but do you remember where it was, like, the interlude to where today we're going to talk about gun violence? Like,
yeah.
To be a person who may or may not have killed somebody, people still look at you as a man of God and a man who's holy and a man who's wise and should know different ways to go about something, as opposed to just the vengeful, like, eye for an eye.
Yeah, such, like, magical tangents.
Shut the fuck up. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, to be that type of person and have people look at you in the way of, like, you know, you're a good person, but you know what shitty things you've done, whatever they may be. That's got to be, like, some sort of, like, internal, like, conflicting thing, because it's like, all right, he is good, but y'all don't know my past. So I feel like that's where, nigga, you too goddamn high.
In my head, I was like, that's gonna have, like, these swirling background, like, effects, like Solomon's mind tangent. That'll be fun in the editing room. Back on topic. So, with this project, before I said it was kind of like the most listenable, and I think, like, you know, Kendrick as an artist, like, when you go to play, like, music, not many people are going to object to that. So if I play a track like Humble or, like, DNA, very universally loved track. Like, Humble, like, the instrumental, a lot of hip-hop nowadays, like, the instrumental is why people are listening.
True. Yeah.
And they completely make or break the song.
I have heard that universally, like, people from all different walks of life, because let me just point out something. I'm a Brooklyn nigga, but we are in North Kakalaka. I've been here for 7 years. Within these 7 years, the number of people I have heard say, "Oh yeah, bro, I only fuck with this artist because like the beat was fire as fuck, dog. That shit was banging." It's stupid. It is stupid dumb the number of times I've heard that shit, and it fucking bothers me. Like, I'm not gonna say I'm one of those guys where it's like, "Oh, you gotta be a lyricist, dog. Like, shit's gotta make sense." Cause like, sometimes I rap, and the shit don't make sense. Like, you have different types of rap. You have rap for the, do you, nigga? Do you? Go ahead, hit that shit, hit that cron.
Only once.
But like you have certain types of music. You got like, you know, the turn up shit like, yeah, we about to go to the fucking club, pop some bottles, yeah, we about to go. Like, yeah, you got your shit like that, and then you have raps that are supposed to strike a nerve, that are supposed to tell a story. So
there's room for all of it, but the point I was making there was like the beat on Humble goes hard as hell, and normally for like a Migos type rapper, like for a Gucci Mane song, that would have just been like this like fun trap song. But he adds so much like to every song, from the best ad libs ever. Do you know how many times I've quoted like a Kendrick Lamar like ad lib? Most of the ones from this album, like just make it look sexy. Do you know how many times I say that? That's like a motto of life that I've adopted, is just make it look sexy. I'll be in the shower, make it look sexy. I'll be making food, make it look sexy. Anytime, anywhere, I'm making it look sexy. Other great ad libs.
I do his machine gun thing pretty well.
Oh, do the machine gun. Or the give me the ganja. Give me the ganja.
Give me the ganja.
Or
give me
or the love me.
Get that shoulder lean.
Get that shoulder lean. I wanna be with you. Hey, and we'll go into that track. Oh. Maybe the greatest one of all time. This dick ain't free.
I mean, maybe. Greatest fucking interlude. That show was fucking hilarious.
That show was gas, brah.
Shut the fuck up.
I was being sarcastic.
I was about to say, get that shit out.
Anyway, we got triggered there for a second. Let's talk. I wanted to like go in deep with a couple of the tracks. Let's start with DNA.
Oh.
DNA is DNA and Ya, an element. Like the first like real tracks on here are like what I want all hip hop to be. I want it to be crazy motherfucking like in my DNA. I want it to be like some like stuff where they're kind of singing and being emotional, and then I just want alternative like kind of weird, you know, stuff.
I mean, all right, if we're gonna
Element's my favorite track, by the way. I love that one.
If we're gonna talk about favorites, because there isn't just one song on Damn that's a favorite. Like Humble, obviously, I'm not gonna say that song is by any means overplayed, because that's the thing about Kendrick. It kind of sounds refreshing, just when you hear it. It's that type. As soon as the shit fucking starts.
Mm-hmm.
Put it away, you gotta say this. Yeah.
Shout out, by the way, to the meme. The new, almost as good as Mom's
Syrup
Spaghetti.
the syrup sandwiches.
I remember syrup sandwiches on my syrup sandwiches.
You say with my syrup tastes like Kool-Aid for these sandwiches.
And that's another great ad-lib right there. Where it's, my left stroke just went viral.
Still don't know right stroke put a baby to Spyro.
But in all honesty, like,
does
does anyone even give a shit? Everyone's quoted it. It's great.
I mean, no one gives a shit, but
yeah.
Still, it would just be
And
nice to know.
then we have a track like God. What do you think of God? Do you like God? Does what God feel like?
Laughing to the bank like, oh.
A lot of people who don't like rap because it's too self-centered and braggadocious. And they mean that one type of rap. Like, which, you know, there's a lot of it, granted. And a lot of it's popular. But a lot of that, like your Lil Yachty, that type of stuff, it's fiction. Like, it's supposed to be like this, like illusion, like a drug trip kind of, like, if you're, like, just, like, in the moment, how do you feel in that moment? You might say those stupid braggadocious things.
Mm-hmm.
And God is that song, but you know, even the way he says it, it's just
Kendrick's
like,
way.
yeah, exactly. He's like, this what God feel like it's that feeling, but it doesn't have like the cringe, like, oh, I feel stupid saying bottles in the club like all day, but
And see, what I think it is.
but he puts in a
because-
more this is what God feels like. You're like, this what, and he puts you know that he's not like taking himself seriously, and it's just a catchy little, this what God feels like.
And I think what he's like, kind of what he's playing on, is not so much what I can't say rappers nowadays because like they're all same, like everybody's present. But as opposed to other rappers, he's not given the detail or even going as far as like just, you know, the usual Xanax perks and all that other shit. He's talking more like legitimate fiscal. Like, note how he's the only rapper, in my opinion, and I'm obviously I'm high, so like I'm thinking to make sure that way I don't have to put my foot in my fucking mouth. But he's like the only real rapper that doesn't
You have 30 seconds.
30 seconds. Only real rapper that doesn't like reference drugs, because he's sober.
I'm high now.
Okay,
Give me the
aside-
ganja.
He doesn't reference like hard drugs.
Yeah.
He doesn't reference like pills
It's-
or anything
yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Like he'll reference weed ever so often. But I mean, even then, weed is fucking weed. It's a plant. Oh.
Okay, moving on, track list. We have Loyalty, which a lot of people like immediately said this is gonna be the one that's on the radio, and people like, cause it's got Rihanna, and Rihanna's a pop. But first off, that's immediately not fair because Rihanna's not doing a Rihanna guest songy song. She's spitting a couple bars, like,
yeah.
and she's not that bad about it. Rihanna's a versatile woman. She can act, she can play in your kids movie, she can get down with the trap rappers, she can get down with good old Kendrick,
She can do shit with Calvin Harris.
she can like move her butt in music videos, she can do a lot of things. I would like to say on this project, I love the DJ guy who the
New Kung Fu Kenny.
new Kung Fu Kenny. That's another ad lib like
Ain't nobody praying
for
for me.
me. Which is
Y'all know
another
what happens
theme of the
on
album,
Earth stays
which
on
I
Earth.
think goes back into that depression thing where he's like, okay, so I have all these fans who at the end of the day, like if I stop making music or if I stop just doing anything, they're gonna lose attention. At the end of the day, they're not gonna like be at my funeral. They're not praying for me, right?
Ain't nobody praying for me.
And then he's got all these family members, you know, whether he references like coming for money or just like they're being fake. It's like, oh, these people aren't fucking praying for me. And then he's like, who do I really have at the end of the day? Even though I'm one of the most beloved, like, at least within his own lane, like people around.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of like he's like past like what like you can do like in terms of making music, and now he's like, what do I do with all this? Okay, going back to what I said earlier. So, Loyalty was not the pop song, especially with that weird 24 Karat Magic, that sample. Do you know about that? They sampled that song by Bruno Lamar.
They did.
Yeah, that little at the beginning of the song, that little yeah, that
Really?
yeah, that's sampled from that.
Oh, shit.
And it was such a weird, like, it was like the beat was centered around that, and it was just so weird. Like, that's a weird song. I didn't think it was that poppy, and if it was a little bit catchier, I think I would have really liked that song, but it was just a little, like, I didn't see anyone really gravitate to that song. I think people started liking songs like Love, which that was the pop song.
That was the pop song you're playing. I wanna be with you.
Hey, so do you think this destroys or just is another great song by Kendrick Lamar, or do you think it's a terrible song? Because some people are like, "What the fuck are you doing?" 'Cause he's like, "I wanna be with you." Hey,
I mean,
on the same album with like Humble and DNA.
I think that's just people being bitchy.
Which, by the way, I fucking love that song. I don't give a shit. I'm like,
I mean, I didn't even fuck with the song to begin with because, see, that's what I thought. I thought it was like a poppy, but like it grew on me, and I mean, I just like the song for what it is. Yeah.
I think with where the direction of this album goes, this album is kind of like this weird, like, on the cover he just looks like a grumbly, fuck all, like, dude.
Mm-hmm.
When I see that face and then I hear the rapping on, like, DNA, I'm like, okay, that fits.
True.
But at the same time, like, he just looks like a drunk, like, kind of, like, dude off of the street. So when I hear a song like Lovin', I can just see him, like, or he's like, this what God feel like.
Yeah, I feel like if it's an album, you gotta have some sort of, like, something else.
Some final thoughts here. Because I think we went through the track list, we got the major themes. What did Kendrick paint here? How do you think about it? And do you have a score?
Not to be sucking dick or anything. No homo. No pause. Fuck all that. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. It's a really good album. I like a decent amount of songs on it. I like how Kendrick can, like, through what he spits, it taps different emotions for me. So I think that's kind of cool. Like, there's a rapper that's able to, pick your mood in a sense. I'm sorry, I'm high, I'm battling. But overall, good album. I like it. I fuck with it.
Kendrick Lamar, out of people just doing it and doing it right, obviously he's the one. He's probably one of my favorite guys, one of your favorite guys. A lot of people's like favorite guy. There's a reason for it, and maybe this because he's going 110% all the time. Maybe this was his one chill back album. Maybe this was his radio album. All I know is I like the album. Half of the tracks I adore. Some of them are just kind of like I'm not super big on Feel or Loyalty or like even like Lust or the one with U2.
Word, yeah, Triple X.
But even as an album that's like with breaks in between all these tracks, I love. Like at least half the tracks I really love. Like, and even more so than a lot of his other best work. And
like, damn, it's another one of those albums where if you were to just so happen to play it, all throughout, you're not gonna be disappointed. Like you won't want to skip through to the next song unless you're just impatient.
Yeah.
And you already
which
know
I
what
have
you
been plenty of times. I definitely have just been like, okay, let's just skip to Humble and okay.
But I mean, like, if you're chilling, you're not doing anything. Say you got the day off or something, and partaking in
all day.
What we've partaken in. Just sit there, fucking just bump that shit. It's cool to listen to.
It's interesting how like we go from tracks like Ya to Element and like DNA. Those are all like right next to each other, and they're completely different emotions, but somehow it's still like the same vibe carried throughout the album.
Exactly.
Anyway, my score. I don't want I'm not trying to like suck his dick also, but like at the same time I'm gonna give it a 9, but at the same time I'm like I'm kind of in that high 8 range just because I don't love all the tracks like that, but the tracks I do love like Element and all of those ones, I love them so much that it's like no, it's a 9. It would get the Soul Badge of approval. It would get the Hall of Fame badge for like the best shit ever. I would put it in the Hall of Fame. Goddamn right. So, those are my final thoughts. Make it look sexy.
Make it look sexy.
And